About 10 years ago, a professor and researcher out of Wellesley College named Jonathan Cheek did a study on introversion. And what he ultimately determined is that introverts have some variety of behaviors and that there isn't really just one type of introvert. Now, before I get into the categories here, it's important to know that most research suggests that about half of the population is really more of an ambivert, which is kind of in the somewhere in the middle, right near the center between being introvert and extrovert. So about half of people navigate between the two with some degree of balance, whereas the other half may lean more one way or the other a little more significantly. So, getting back to Mr. Cheek's research through Wellesley College, what he essentially provided us with is called the STAR method. So, STAR, describing the four categories or types of introverts. So, let's take a look at these. So, the first one is the social introvert. So, this is described as what we most commonly refer to as an introvert. So, this person is um, very inclined to spend time by themselves more so than in large groups or buzzing social environments. And it's not so much because they're shy, it's more because of their social battery, right? They feel a bit more exhausted by significant social interaction and they feel more recharged when they're alone and able to operate kind of in their own space. But they do like socializing, but they would more than likely prefer it in smaller, more intimate groups than in larger crowds or unknown areas. The next is the T, so the thinking introvert. So this person is a deep thinker. They're kind of like a daydreamer. They tend to get lost in their own mind and in their own thoughts. And so this person has a really rich and active and detailed inner world, if you will. So they really enjoy getting caught in their thoughts and evaluating and conversing with themselves. So it's not so much that they're shy or timid about social environments. It's just that they tend to get caught up in their own world and they really feel connected to their inner thoughts. The next is the anxious introvert. So this person tends to be a little bit more traditionally what we think about as being a shy kind of person that avoids social interactions intentionally. So the anxious introvert prefers being alone because social environments cause anxiety or discomfort for them, right? They may be self-conscious or feel awkward in social environments. So that anxious feeling can actually stick around with them even after the social environment is over. Maybe that person that's thinking about, I said the wrong thing, or I did the wrong thing, or I embarrassed myself. And that thought and frustration or tension can linger for a long time. So those anxious introverts are more likely to avoid social environments because of their anxiety towards the space. And then lastly, we have the restrained introvert. So the restrained introvert is just really deliberate and very methodical, right? So they take their time before they jump into conversations or situations or actions or whatever it may be. So the restrained introvert is often very calm, very poised, very thoughtful. They do not like to be rushed. They like to evaluate all the information and the options and explore things before they make a decision or before they enter an environment or make a change in their life or whatever it may be. So again, the restrained introvert isn't necessarily shy. They're just very detailed, very methodical, and they want to evaluate situations before they put themselves into them. So where are you on the star